The room is dimly lit with curtains drawn to filter out the harshness of the outside world. Her room is a heaven of comfort filled with plush pillows. She sits cross-legs on her bed, bathed in the soft glow of her bedside lamp. She holds her phone delicately in her hands, fingers gliding effortlessly across the screen. She liked a post and typed a comment but soon retracted it. She was scrolling through stickers when mistakenly a sticker was sent in the comment sections. Her eyes widened, seeing "I love you" sticker instead of "congratulations." She cursed under her breath and was nervously clicking on delete, but the Wi-Fi was disconnected out of the blue. She quickly connected it, but until then, she received 16 likes and a "love you too" reply with a meaningful emoji. "Hello," she mumbled, letting out a sigh, and dialed her best friend's number. On the third bell, the call was received. "Hey Grace, I messed up," she frustratedly spoke while the familiar deep voice from the other side made her flinch. "What else can you do other than messing up? This is Grace's study time, don't you know?" His tone was usual, cold and rude. "Hey, I want to talk about something important with her," she heard him scoffing. "Nothing is more important than her studies. If you are free, don't mean everyone is as free as you." He bluntly slammed the call. She glared at the phone as if it wasn't her phone but him. She threw the phone on the bed and laid on her stomach. She groaned, annoyingly punching the mattress. Grace was a medical student while Wine dropped her studies. She knew Tim was quite strict about Grace's studies. Intelligent and ambitious girls attract him. After a few minutes of silence, her phone rang, grabbing her attention. She checked the caller ID and attended the call with a bored expression. "Hey darling, you made me happy today," he said in a flirty tone. "Shut up, Dean. I wanted to send congratulations, but mistakenly I clicked on that stupid sticker." She dryly explained. He chuckled. "Then it was a very beautiful mistake, my lovely Wine." She clenched her jaw and declined the call. She scrolled through the comment section and deleted the comment, but now it seemed to be useless. She groaned, and once again her phone buzzed, grabbing her attention. She attended the call. "Wine, you called? You are the sister of a decent, polite and humble person. You must greet a person when you attend a call," she said in a snarky tone. Grace chuckled. "I see, you have talked to him. That's why you are hot under the collar on this call." "Yes, when I needed you, you were buried in your books." She got angry all over again. "What was the problem? According to Tim, you were quite anxious." Wine bit her inner cheek at her question. "Actually, I made a mistake. On Dean's graduation post, I made "I love you" comment instead of "congratulations." I was about to delete it, but suddenly Wi-Fi was disconnected. I called you to tell you that. Switch to my account and delete the comment. You are busy with studies. Everyone saw the comment and that flirty replied. She spoke with a pout while Grace was listening with surprise and soon broke into laughter. "Wine, you are such a drama. I did it mistakenly. I didn't mean it." She rolled her eyes. "First you didn't want to give him any hope, but now you sent him to cloud 9. I didn't do it on purpose." She defended herself. "It's okay, Wine, he's your fiancé." She tried to comfort her. "Fiancé? Are fiancés like that? Whole time he just talks about his girlfriends. He don't just talk about them, but tell each and every details about whatever they do. Without thinking, how would I feel?" Her voice broke. "Wine, don't cry now. He's just flirty, and nowadays all the boys are like him. He just wants to make you jealous." "So is Theon. He has studied abroad and even started his business abroad, yet there is no scandal of him. Dean is a freaking playboy and whole city knows that." Grace chuckled. "Isn't it strange? You're complimenting him." She changed the topic. "There is something good in him, so it is worthy of praise. It's a different thing that I don't like the way he is dominant." She spoke frankly. "My lovely friend, we need a heart to praise our enemy. Even so, he is not my mortal enemy. I'm just apprehensive of his mood." Fine. So is there something I can do for you?" Wine gritted her teeth. "I just want you to go and hit your head on a wall because you can't be present when I need your help," she said and declined the call. Next day, the soft glow of the screen illuminated her face, casting a warm amber hue on her features. Her eyes were fixed on the words forming on the page, lost in the world of her novel. glanced across the keyboard of her laptop when a sudden intrusion shattered her concentration. "Hey, my novel!" she almost yelled at his sudden move. "Come on, darling, leave this stupid imagination. Just focus on me. I'm your real story," he said, sitting in front of her. "By the way, yesterday was fun. Kate and Mila were upset. I had to coax them." Wine clenched her jaw. Why were they upset? "Do these three have to marry you collectively?" She spoke bluntly while being burst into laughter. "Not collectively, but they are willing to marry your fiancé individually," he said with a wink. "Then go marry them and leave me," she said with a dead stare. "I would marry them, but what about you? How will you tolerate a co-wife?" She rose from the bed. "Come back, beauty. Why would I marry someone else when I had you?" He held her hand and pulled her back to the bed. "But you still will be in relationship with them. Every morning you wake up with a new woman beside you," she said with disgust and released her hand from his grip with a jerk. "I do that to fulfill my needs and everyone does it. I even tell you everything. Most of the guys keep it secret," he said, shrugging his shoulder. "It doesn't matter," she asked with disbelief. He shook his head as no. "Everyone does it." His answer was previous. "No, Dean, there are also people with character." Her voice cracked. "Really? Have you seen someone so-called with character?" His tone was sarcastic. "Tang is a characterful person." She spontaniously said his name. "How lucky the girl will be to get him. She will be fortunate to have him in her life." "He might not be the way you think," he spoke in a serious tone, while raised her brows at him. "That means you seem to be a loose character, but actually you are not." "Loose character? Mind your language, Wine. I'm soon to be your husband," he muttered through gritted teeth. "So what? Should I give you a medal for being characterful, humble and polite?" Sarcasm dripped from her each word. "Fine, I accept. I do everything and have girlfriends, but I tell you everything, and lastly, I love you." Wine smiled. "Love? Isn't it weird? Well, you don't care about my feelings, my emotions. Instead, you crush my feelings clearly. Every couple involved talks about themselves, their future, while you discuss how you spend night with your chicks. Is this love?" He stepped closer to her and cupped her face. "You don't treat me like they do." He leaned closer. "Neither you love me nor you let me do anything." She turned her face away. "I like to stay in limits." He released her with a jerk. "Then stay within your limits. Don't complain and let me do whatever I want to." "I wish my mom hadn't fixed this engagement since our childhood. Sometimes parents' decisions ruins their child's life. We never know what would a person turn out when they grow. I would never have chosen someone like you." He glared at her. "You mean our engagement is just a mistake? You would have chosen someone so-called characterful like you. Just go to hell." He walked out and closed the door with a loud thud. Time skip. Today Wine decided to meet Grace as it's been so long they met last time. She wanted to talk her out about the argument with Dean. Since that day, neither Dean nor Wine contact him, but yeah, he did send his videos and pictures sucking faces and making out with random girls. Wine immersed herself in writing, pouring her emotions into her novel through heartfelt words. Now she stepped the king's entrance, but frowned hearing loud cries. She entered when Grace's voice caught her attention. "Hey, I'm your mom, stop crying," she said, trying hard to sound like Lucy. The 4-year-old little girl swiftly took off mask from her face and she cried louder than ever while the other 2 years little girl crawled down from Grace's lap. "God, little girl, you're so smart. Why did Uni left these 2 witches here?" she mumbled angrily while lifted the 2-year chubby girl from the floor and picked her feeder along. "Why are they crying so hard?" she asked while the chubby little girl stopped crying and began drinking the milk. "You are here, I swear I will kill this girl. Uni went to the shopping and left these 2. She muttered through gritted teeth and made her niece sit on the sofa who was still crying. "God, when will her speaker go off?" Grace, calm down, they're innocent little kids. She kissed the little girl's chubby cheeks and wiped the tears from her face. "Oh my God, Grace, you made my little girls cry." I could hear their cries at the entrance. Wine's lips twitched into a smile while Grace rolled her eyes. She greeted her while Lucy lifted her daughter from the sofa, not forgetting to slap Grace, who whined in response. Thank God, Wayne, you are here, or else I had planned a long fight with you. You didn't come to meet me. She glared at Wayne and side-hugged her. Bonnie, I didn't know you were here. When did you come? It's been 5 days since I came here. I wanted to spend time with him before he goes back, and I thought I could beat you after so long, but there was no trace of you, she said, sitting on the couch. Bonnie Tham is the reason Wayne didn't come, because he mocks her love for writing and dropping her studies for her hobby. Oh yeah, I just remembered. Wayne, did you write me a novel? I noticed the glow in her eyes and nodded with a smile. That's great. Give it to me, I will read it and don't care about anyone smoking or anything. This stupid people doesn't know the deep meaning and emotions behind each word. She shook her head while her daughter was asleep in Wayne's arms. I'll get them to room and come, she said, and walked both of her daughters towards the room and informed Grace to send the driver to pick up their mom as she met her friends in the mall and went to have dinner with them. How are you doing, Wayne? She asked, looking at her intently. Don't know, Grace. This dean has made me sick. She let out a deep sigh. What does he want? Even Tham saw him with one of his chicks in the club. She muttered through her teeth. We argued that day. She told her everything. Grace let out a sigh. I don't understand why are you still tolerating him. You deserve someone like Tham, not like Tham but Tham. Wayne felt her heart pounding in her chest. Tham has always been her crush and ideal. I have to talk to Mom once more. This is too much. I had to drop my studies due to depression. I wasn't brave like other girls. I couldn't fight my anxiety. I couldn't focus on anything. He made me sick. I know I don't love him. Maybe I could have at least liked him if he had changed himself. I told Mom everything and all she said was he would change once he was married, but I can't see any traces of change in him. Everyone mocks me for dropping studies and writing only if they know what I'm going through. She spoke, trying hard to blink away her tears. Grace hugged her, stroking her hair. Don't worry, everything will be fine. Don't care whoever mocks you. They are ignoring to understand your talent. To the hell with Dean and others. Listen to me, tomorrow we are going shopping and the next day we will go to Tham's farmhouse and spend a few days. You are also coming with us. We will enjoy having fun. Her eyes beamed with excitement. Wayne pulled out and twitched her nostrils. I don't want to come when Tham is here, she murmured in a low tone. You don't have to worry about him. I swear I'll kick him if he tries to mock you or something. My best friend comes first for me. She rolled her eyes while Wayne let out a chuckle. I'm so lucky to have a best friend like you. It's more like you act as a mother to me, she said, looking up to Grace. Grace pat her head. I'm thinking of adopting you from your mother. They burst into laughter. Thanks. When reached Kim mansion, Mr. Kim was sitting in the living room reading a newspaper. He lifted his head, feeling her presence. Wayne greeted him with a smile, which he responded. Wayne, come sit here. No one's ready yet, he said with a warm smile. I thought I was the one who was late. She glanced at her wristwatch and swiftly lifted her head as a familiar cologne hit her nostrils. There he was coming by muttering something under his breath. What happened, Tham? Mr. Kim asked and leaned towards Wayne. The look on his face says he'll burst out on everyone. I think we should hide somewhere. Mr. Kim whispered to Wayne while she chuckled in response. Dad, I told them to be ready by 3 p.m. but it's 4 p.m. and no one is ready. He annoyingly picked his phone from the sofa and turned towards Wayne. What's so funny? She lowered her head. Shut, you stupid mouth, Tham. Why do you have to hurry all the time? She said, coming along with her daughters. You guys are impossible. I will wait in the car for just 5 minutes. Whoever wants to go can come along before 5 minutes. He said and walked out while Lucy rolled her eyes and embraced Wayne into a bone-crushing hug. Wayne, let's go before my crazy brother leaves us here. She dragged Wayne. But Grace, she hesitantly left her sentence incomplete. Don't worry, she will come with Dad. Both of them all because of you. You shouldn't have hurried. She put all the blame on him. I'm done with you, Lucy, he said in a defeated tone and drove back. I'll be back in 5 minutes, she hoped out. Only knows how to please him, she thought with a smile. Why are you smiling? He asked annoyingly. She shook her head. Nothing. Both of them were silent. As the time passed, she could see Thames' grip tighten on the steering wheel. His knuckles turned white. He ran his fingers through his hair frustratedly. After 10 minutes, Lucy was seen coming. She sat in the car, adjusting her daughters, while Thames drove off without wasting a second. Stop the car, stop the car. She yelled again, shaking his shoulder. What is your problem, Lucy? He growled, punching the steering wheel. Leah and Mia began crying. Watch your tone, Theo. I forgot my purse. Drive back. She smacked his head and rolled her eyes. He clenched his jaw and drove back. You have just 2 minutes, not even a second up, or else I will leave you. He warned her. As if I care, she mumbled and hopped out. Once more the car was filled with silence. Then glanced at his wristwatch. A few moments passed, then began driving out. Then only hasn't returned yet, she said with wide eyes. So what? I gave her 2 minutes and it's over, he said in a stern tone, speeding up. But he interrupted her. Keep quiet, I won't hesitate to throw you out of the window. She clenched her fist, letting out a deep sigh. Her phone rang, diverting her attention. She attended the call. Where are you? She asked as soon as mine attended the call. Only we are on our way to farmhouse, she said hesitantly. This bastard must pay for it, she yelled from the other side, enough for him to hear. I gave you 2 minutes, now bear the consequence, he said while Lucy cursed from the other side and declined the call. Wine shook her head. The few drops of rain fell, their intensity grew with each passing moment. They speed up the car while Wine clutched the hem of her shirt. She felt her heart pounding against her chest. Thank the rain is coming down really hard. I don't think others would be able to make it here. Let's go back, she said anxiously. This is why I was hurrying. We have come a long way. There is no way back in this heavy rain, he said coldly. Wine was scared of the way he was driving at high speed in the heavy rain. She picked out her phone and called Lucy. Only where are you? Wine, we couldn't make it due to the heavy rain. You must come back. We have come a long way, she said in a low tone. It's okay, once the rain stops you can come back. Don't worry, Theo is with you. Take it easy and have a safe journey. They bid goodbyes and declined the call. After 20 minutes of silent drive, they reached the farmhouse. Theo hopped out and entered while Wine followed him absent-mindedly. Theo was talking with the housekeeper while Wine silently sat in the living room. After a few moments, she picked out her phone and thought to call her mom. She dialed her number, but there was no signal. She dialed again, but still there was no signal. She let out a sigh and kept the phone back while tapping her feet anxiously. Her gaze landed on Tham, who walked towards the front door, which she assumed to be a bedroom. Wine leaned on the couch and closed her eyes. After a few minutes, she heard Tham's voice. Wine, eat something. He placed the tray in front of her on the table while sat on the opposite couch. They began eating silently when Wine spoke. Then when will we go back? Her voice was laced with worry. The rain doesn't seem to stop anytime soon. I think we'll stay here tonight. What? She gasped while he nodded, glancing at the heavy rain. They ate while Theo ushered the dishes to the kitchen. He came back after some time and sat scrolling through his phone when the power went off suddenly. Damn it, he mumbled, and on the doorstep. I will go and check the generator, he said to her and walked off. After 10 minutes, he came back fuming in anger. How do you see there is no fuel in the generator? At least you could have checked it, he said to the housekeeper angrily and flopped on the couch. Why go to that room and take some sleep? He pointed at the opposite door. My phone went off, I'm scared, she mumbled. Take mine, he said, handing her his phone while she took slow steps towards the door. She closed the door and placed the phone on the nightstand while Theo laid on the couch. Time skip. It was almost midnight when Wine jumped in the bed due to the sudden thunderstorm which shook the windows and the door. She gulped, looking around as the room was pitch black. She wiped the sweat her but enough for him to hear. Then stared at her for a few moments and then released her hand, scooting away from her. The room was filled with comfortable silence when Wayne's voice broke it. "You can sleep. I'm sorry for disturbing you." "It's fine." He spoke absent-mindedly as his mind was stuck on the fact that Wayne was scared of him. Grace is right. She is indeed unique. He smiled internally at the thought. Next morning, as soon as the rain stopped, 𝐾 drove back home without wasting a second. Wayne reached home and heaved a sigh of relief. "Mom, I'm home." "Oh, Uni." As they heard her voice, they stopped talking. She noticed the tension in the air and their serious expressions, which were odd. "Wayne, you're back. You could have at least called us. Do you know how scared I was?" Both of them stood while Wayne walked closer and wrapped her arms around her mom. "Sorry, Mom, I tried to call you, but there was no signal due to the heavy rain." "It's okay, I was just worried." "Uni, how did you come?" She averted her face towards Lucy. "I just came to meet your mom, but now I must leave. The driver is here," she said, seeing the driver's message. But you must come again." Lucy smiled, patting her cheek and bid goodbyes. Wayne noticed Lucy's tone was low today. "Wayne, go and have some rest. I'll prepare breakfast for you." She snapped her out of her thoughts. Wayne nodded and made her way towards her room. Few hours later, after taking a nap, Wayne took a warm shower and made her way towards the kitchen when a sudden thought of the farmhouse crossed her mind. Then 𝐾 scooped away and released her hand. He wasn't offended. Instead, he valued my comfort, unlike Dean. She knitted her brows, hearing Dean and his parents' voice. "This is nothing big. It's fine, and 𝐾 spent a night in a farmhouse. I trust 𝐾 more than anyone." Wayne clutched the hem of her shirt, hearing her father's serious voice. "Mr. Han is right. Dean is just making a big fuss out of it." Her heart clenched hearing 𝐂's voice. They spent the whole night together alone in the farmhouse. Do you think nothing would have happened between them? After all, they are a thing. "Shut up, Dean. You can't slander my daughter's character," Mr. Han growled. Wayne stood fuming in rage. "Control your daughter rather than yelling here." Dean's mother spoke. "Martha, watch your son's character. I won't tolerate a vote against my daughter. For the sake of our friendship, I sacrificed my daughter's life without her consent. But now everything is over between us. You may leave." "Believe me or not, Wayne talks to me about 𝐾 all the time." Wayne couldn't take it anymore. She passed in, marching towards Dean, and before anyone could understand, she placed a slap across Dean's cheek, taking him off guard. "I knew you were a cheap person, but I didn't expect you to scoop this low. Get out of here," she muttered in a quivering tone. Dean stared at her with dead eyes. "Let's go, Martha. We are already being insulted enough." Dean's dad said and walked out while Martha followed him, not forgetting to throw a glare at Wayne. "You call me characterless? Well, I almost proved you characterless. Now you must pay for this slap." He whispered in her ear and brushed past her. "What did he say, dear?" she asked in a soft tone. "Nothing, Auntie. I'm sorry. Because of me, they pointed at 𝐾's character." She mumbled in a low voice. "That's totally fine. You don't have to worry about it," she said with a warm smile, patting her hair. "I'm sorry, Wayne. I shouldn't have forced you into this engagement." "It's over, Mom. There's no use of repeating it," she said with a slight smile. Soon Mr. and Mrs. 𝐾 took their leave. Wayne felt relief rushing over her as if a burden was taken off her shoulders. Time skip. The living room was filled with tense silence. 𝐾's voice broke it. "Dad, what's it?" he asked anxiously. "Then, as you know, Dean has spread a rumor about you and Wayne," he prefaced, then curled his fingers into a fist. "Dad, he's spitting nonsense. I bear witness to her purity." He swiftly spoke. Mr. 𝐾 nodded. "I know, that's why I have made a decision." 𝐾 knitted his brows with a questioning gaze. "I want you to marry Wayne." 𝐾's eyes widened. "What?" he gasped and stood. "Dad, how can I marry her? I have no plan to get married for 5 years, and in 2 weeks it is my flight back." He spoke, staring at his dad with disbelief. "We can understand, 𝐾, but to be honest, I and your dad always thought of Wayne for you. But they suddenly announced Wayne's engagement. That's why we backed off." She calmly spoke. "He ran existed for 5 years. My priority is my business. I wanted to achieve my goals and then get married. I had an image of an intelligent working woman for my partner. You were nowhere in my plans. Her eyes went teary, she patted her lashes. Then you should have refused to marry me. Little do you know how Dad had pressurized me, he murmured in barely audible voice. Wine still heard it. She gulped the plump in her throat and made her way towards the washroom to change. After a few minutes she woke up. There was lying on the bed drowning his thoughts. Wine came towards the bed, picked a pillow and placed it on the couch. She was lying on the couch when she heard Thames' deep voice. Why are you sleeping on the couch? Come to the bed. If I had no place in your life, then I shouldn't have a place on your bed. She spoke in a low tone and took a long breath, inhaling his captivating cologne. Thanks, silently stared at her. Landscape. The week went by in a flash. Wine has distanced herself from Theo since their wedding day. Wine sleeps on the couch, but when she wakes up, she finds herself on the bed. One thing that had changed in her life is that she gets peaceful sleep every night. Now, whereas before her marriage, she couldn't sleep well. She knew this was all because of Thames' presence and cologne. Thame and Mr. King tried their best to apply for Wine's passport and visa on short notice, but it didn't work due to some problems. Today's Thames flight back to the States. Now everyone was bidding him goodbyes when Lucy's cheerful voice grabbed their attention. Thame, give Wine a big hug before you go. Your poor wife is still waiting. Wine's face flushed red while Thame smiled slightly. Only Mom, Dad, have you noticed since Wine has come into Thames' life? He smiles often. She said with a distant smile and wrapped her arms around Wine's shoulder. Wine stiffened with Thames' eyes on her. She looked at him, but he was saying something to his mom. Grace is right, but we can't discuss that now. Mr. King turned towards Thame. Hurry up, we will be late. Thame nodded and embraced his sisters and mom. He then came towards Wine and put her closer to his body, embracing her. She was taken off guard. Her mind went numb. Take care, he whispered in her ear while his lips brushed her earlobe, giving her goosebumps. Wine inhaled his cologne. Both of them were enthralled by the moment. I think you're not having any intentions to pull out. They swiftly pulled out. Wine's face flushed due to embarrassment while Thame walked out without glancing at Wine. She felt a mix of emotions, sadness, confusion, hurt, and